Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers recap and analysis of their wild, wacky, heart-stopping, as always, but a victory nonetheless. Week 9, a victory over the Chicago Bears, 29-27. Took a lot, took more than it probably should have, but Pittsburgh got the win. Let's talk about it. And this one for me came down to two big categories of why Pittsburgh hung on to win and ultimately make the most plays. Really, maybe three of them, but to me, red zone play where Pittsburgh was 3 of 3 and Chicago was 2 of 4. Penalties where Chicago was penalized, 10x whatever Pittsburgh was penalized, and then the kicking game and making just enough plays on special teams. Both teams had negative plays there in special teams and fumbles. McLeod's one was more costly than Jakeem Grant's fumble, but ultimately it was Pittsburgh making enough positive plays on special teams, in special teams, and that obviously revolves around Chris Boswell's 3 field goals, 2 from 50 plus at Heinz Field in November, although the weather was pretty good tonight, and then the game-winning kick from 40 yards out. And so those three things, I think, compensate for a game that was overall sloppy, ugly, lackluster. If you weren't a fan of either team, downright boring for most of this game. But Pittsburgh, again, just enough to get the victory. And offensively for Pittsburgh, the whole idea is if the Steelers can't run the ball effectively and efficiently, throughout a game, their offense is going to really be clunky and struggle basically from start to finish. And it's just hard to find a rhythm and a routine if this team cannot get a run game going. I did not think the line did a good job tonight in either phase, run blocking, pass protection. Dan Moore certainly had his struggles. Trey Turner gave up a sack on a particularly ugly play. You had issues in short yardage. Kendrick Green getting stood up by, I think, Goldman and Hicks. And so it just wasn't good enough across the board. Had a good start, of course, opening drive touchdown, 3 opening drive touchdowns this season, which is triple what the team had from 2019 to 2020. So they're getting a better start to games, go up 14 nothing, but could not find that consistency or rhythm the rest of the way. Struggled on third down, sat around whatever it was, 35, maybe 40% with the game winning drive. Not entirely sure what the numbers finished at, but they were pretty poor throughout in this one. But Ben was not good until that last drive where other guys stepped up. A lot of yak plays and big plays by Fryermuth and Deontay Johnson. But yeah, this offense just feels very, disjointed and sputtering when that run game cannot get going. But have to credit the guys who did step up. Again, Ben leading the team on that last drive. Pat Fryermuth, again, the guy just catches everything. I mean, I've said that so many times, and I'm sure I'll be saying that every single time we talk about him positively because, man, this guy, you throw it his way towards that 88 jersey, and he just finds a way to come down with it. The scramble drill on the first touchdown, finding grass, making himself open, and then just a difficult combat catch the second time around. So two obviously massive plays there. And how about the diving catch he had on that game winning drive as well, reaching back for the football. That was a really big play. Deontay Johnson with a slant, just the way he did against Cleveland last week. And so making enough plays wasn't pretty or perfect or anything like that, but it was good enough. And Najee Harris, I thought, ran hard overall. Still have a long ways to go though, but red zone play, being efficient, coming away with touchdowns and not field goals, to me, the difference in this one, although it obviously ultimately resulted in a field goal by Boswell to win the game. Defensively, it was a mixed bag. I mean, overall, you only allow 20 points as a defense, because the other points came on the fumble recovery for a touchdown. I thought Pittsburgh felt a little unprepared in the run game for some of the quarterback design stuff, some of the fields read option stuff. They hadn't done a lot of this season. You certainly saw more of that in this one, and then the Wildcat as well. Felt like Pittsburgh wasn't ready for that. Obviously, they got back the Bears did David Montgomery late in that game or late in the week. Got activated on Monday afternoon or evening, whenever it was. And so I think Pittsburgh wasn't totally ready for some of that stuff that Chicago did. And so while the run defense overall wasn't terrible, I thought it was generally gap sound. I think some of the newness and stuff that the Steelers hadn't seen on tape. I think Pittsburgh struggled to adjust to that throughout the game. And then in coverage and pass game stuff, Fields made some really good throws, some high level stuff, middle of the field. They picked on Millette there to take the lead. Millette's a guy who's better downhill as a blitzer, as a run stuffer, snuffing out screens and things like that. You ask him to cover some tough guys like Mooney and Robinson. That's going to be difficult to do. I wonder if Pittsburgh wasn't in their dime package on that position. I'll have to go back and check because Millette does not play in dime, or at least he hadn't been so far. If everybody's healthy and everybody was on Monday night. So I'll have to go back and check because he has not really played in a lot of those situations, not necessarily. So I'll have to kind of see what the personnel grouping was. I'm not sure what it was to be honest with you. So I have to go back and check that. But TJ Watt, 3 sacks. He's up to 61 in his career. I mean, it's unbelievable. I thought Highsmith played well, although the stats will not show it. I thought Minka played pretty well this though the stats will not show it. Thought Edmonds struggled in coverage. You're getting cooked by 34-year-old Jimmy Graham down the seam. That's really bad. Edmonds in coverage and just overall the athleticism that he definitely has is not always play to that. He just plays slower than the way he tests and times. And so I think he has value as a run stuffer, as a physical guy. But coverage, man, I mean it's improved some, but it's not improved enough, obviously. And then special teams, good and bad. Boz missed an extra point, but has, from 52, 54, and then the 40-yarder to win it. So kudos to him. Kudos to the operation. That's Kuntz. That's Harvin for good snaps, good holds. Those are all important components as well. Can't overlook that. Then, of course, you had the McLeod fumble. And McLeod has done a good job in the return game this year in terms of the production overall. They found some traction in the kick return game since last season, but he's got fumbles in the last 2 weeks. And so ball security's always been the worry with him coming out and in his career in Buffalo, and puts that one on the ground, man. At 6.5 minutes to go, you're up 10. Don't get too cute. Just take care of the football. Number one thing in a return, man, in general, is take care of the football. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're Devin Hester, you fumble the football, you're not going to last long. But certainly in those situations, it's just about ball security, taking care of the football, and you would have won that game probably pretty comfortably if McLeod does not have that fumble on that one for no gain. I mean, if he spins out of that, whatever, he's going to get 2 more yards and it's just not worth it. So his job could be in jeopardy back to back, weeks. They got Steven Sims on the practice squad. He's got a similar skill set in the return game. Some of the jet type stuff. He's got a similar kind of build and profile. So could they make a change there? They could. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to guarantee it, but he's certainly on thin ice if he does not get cut here in the next day or two. So overall, I mean, it's a 2-point win over a Bears team who had been better, has improved a bit, but you certainly wanted to win this by more than two in the fashion in which they did, having to drive down the field late and giving up the 14-point lead and all that kind of stuff. But you take it, move to 5-3. All these wins are super important. And a very competitive AFC, a very competitive AFC North. You're going to need, I think, 10 plus wins to win the division. And certainly you're still chasing Baltimore right now. Pittsburgh in second place at 5-3. Got a game against Detroit in week 10. And the Lions coming off a bye, they're going to be jonesing for that victory and probably have some tricks up their sleeve. And so you got to get some of these comfortable wins here and get wins in general, of course, because that schedule really tightens up the rest of the way with Cleveland and Baltimore twice and the Bengals and the Chargers and the Chiefs and Titans, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a pretty brutal schedule. So try to get the 6-3 and go from there. But Pittsburgh's still trying to play a more complete game, obviously, and just trying to find traction in that run game. And that's the big thing for Pittsburgh to have success overall. So those are my thoughts on the game. I'm sure I missed quite a bit, but you can fill me in the comments, of course, where we'll recap, analyze this game the rest of the week. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you guys have not done so already. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.